Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to introduce myself and my teammates. My name is Muhammad Haris bin Anwar, and I will talk about the introduction of this topic, which is the Portuguese administration in Malacca. Next, we have Nur Akila Najwa binti Haslan. She will talk about the capture of Malacca. And then, we have Anis Farhana binti Muhammad Nur. She will talk about the Chinese reaction to the Portuguese administration. And next, we have Nur Sarah Adibah binti Muhammad Nazli. She will explain about the Portuguese administration in Malacca. And lastly, we have Umi Soleha binti Azhari. She will give us a conclusion about this topic. The Portuguese administration in Malacca from 1511 to 1641. In 1511, Malacca fell into the hands of Portuguese until 1641, and that was the beginning of the colonial era in Malaysia. Malacca was the center of the maritime trade. The Strait of Malacca was once a passageway of trade link between the east and the west. For your information, one of the factors for the downfall of the Malacca Empire was because of the colonization of Portuguese.
My name is Akila and I will be the next to talk about the capture of Malacca. The capture of Malacca occurred when the governor of Portuguese India, Afonso de Albuquerque, conquered the city of Malacca in 1511. It was conquered from the Malacca Sultanate as part of Portuguese attempts to gain control of trade in the region. The capture of Malacca was the result of a plan by Manuel I, King of Portugal, who had intended to beat the Castilians to the Far East, and Albuquerque's own project of establishing firm foundation for Portuguese India alongside Hormuz, Goa, and Aden ultimately controlled trade and toward Muslim shipping in the Indian Ocean. Other than that, Manuel I, King of Portugal, he sent Captain Major Diogo Lopes de Sequeira to make contact with Malacca and sign a trade agreement with its ruler. He was initially well received by Sultan Mahmud Shah. The international Muslim trading community convinced Mahmud that the Portuguese were a grave threat. Mahmud subsequently attacked the 4 ships in the harbour, killing some and captured several of them. As the Portuguese had found in India, Congress would be the only way they could establish themselves in Malacca.
For the next part, I will talk about Chinese reaction. Malacca harbored a community of Chinese merchants from Fujian and other sites who left China in defense of Ming laws. They were probably not treated well by Sultan, as almost all supported the Portuguese and helped them establish relations with neighboring countries. China was first contacted in 1513 by George Alvarez, who sailed from Malacca in a fleet of 5 junks and set foot an island in the Pearl River Delta. It was followed by Rafael Perestrello, who landed in continental China proper and traded profitably at Guangzhou. When in June 1717, a fleet of 8 ships under the command of Fernão Perez de Andrade reached Guangzhou with an embassy from King Manuel of Portugal. The ambassador Tom Pires was disembarked with pomp and circumstance from King Manuel of Portugal. An ambassador from Sultan Mahmud appealed to Emperor Zhengde for aid against the Portuguese. However, Zhengde died shortly afterwards, and his successor, Jiang Jing, ruled that the Portuguese embassy were robbed of their belongings and imprisoned. Though many Portuguese continued to sail from Malacca to engage in trade or smuggling. With gradual improvement of relations and aid given against the Waco pirates along China's shores, by 1557, Ming China finally agreed to allow Portuguese to settle at Macau.
My name is Nur Sarah Adibah binti Muhammad Nazli, and I will explain about the administration of Portuguese in Malacca. After the Portuguese captured Malacca in 1511, a military and civil administration was established. Since the interests of Portuguese authorities were in trade and not political powers, much of the former Malay administration remained, such as the headman, the Temenggung who was responsible for rural districts, and the Shahbandar who was in charge of non-Portuguese traders. The Portuguese administrative system started with the governor or captain of fortress at the apex. Then after that, at the same secondary level are civil and criminal affairs, military affairs, foreign affairs, which the bendahara is in charge of, and also internal affairs under the Temenggung. Under the civil and criminal affairs are ovidor, viador, bishop, and secretary. Next, Commander-in-Chief of War and the Sergeant Major who are under military affairs. Moreover, there are Japanese, Chinese, and Indian under the Bendahara who is in charge of foreign affairs, while the Temenggung is responsible for internal affairs in Nanning and Lingi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Unisza binti Azhari. Let's talk about the conclusion for this topic. First, Portuguese colonized Malacca from 1511 until 1641. Second, they wanted to achieve their targets to be a famous and great empire, and Malacca was a suitable place for them to achieve their goal. Third, Portuguese were more focused on securing key ports rather than conquer territory. Next, let's talk about the impact. We have three impacts, which is political, economic, and social. For political impact, Portuguese introduced their own system of administration, which ended the absolute power of the ruler. Second, the emergence of the Malaysian Royal Kingdom. For economic impact, high-tech was introduced, and no more freedom in trading, means ships were forced to trade in Malacca. Special pass was introduced. And the last, social impact, spread of Christianity, introduction of Roman alphabet, and also rise of Johor Kingdom. That's all from me. Thank you.